And Victoria Coates, former Deputy National Security Advisor to President Trump, serves as Vice President of National Security at the Heritage Foundation and is joining us now. Victoria, appreciate having you on this morning as so much is happening. Just your quick reaction to the news on the Gaza announcement, because this, as the president said, could be a very big deal, but always Hamas tends to slow walk things, and there was some reporting that they're casting doubt on the sequencing of things. How soon could this happen?
Well, Jackie, great to be with you. And yes, of course, everyone is saying if, but there are so many concerns, so many mights in this. But at the same time, there are two things that make this deal potentially different, both of which have to do with the Iran war. First is that Hamas may have a lot less supplies coming from Iran, a lot less money. And that's how they exert control over Gaza. So they may be at the losing end of this. And we're seeing the same thing, by the way, with Hezbollah in Lebanon. The second thing is regional cohesion against the Palestinians, and not against Palestinian people, but against Hamas, that they no longer want Hamas to have a veto over normalization deals with Israel. We disproved that in the first term with President Trump's Abraham Accords. That can now expand if the situation gets resolved. So Hamas may be under tremendous pressure from their former supporters who are now saying, wrap this up, give up these weapons, let's get to a brighter future for the Strip and a more secure future for Israel.
Yeah, to your point, some senior administration officials on a press call last night mentioned that Iran tried to discourage Hamas from going into this deal, but that Hamas, they said, has sort of been abandoned by Iran. On the other side, though, you have the potential of this war widening. Investigators reportedly believe that Iran could have been behind a massive cyber attack that hit Minnesota on Sunday and Monday. There were 30 community water systems that were affected. One city was forced to briefly shut down its water plant. Minnesota IT Services is coordinating with the FBI, CISA, and the EPA to determine the scope of this whole attack. But what do you make of the potential for Iranian hackers to be behind these infrastructure attacks here in the U.S.? That would be an escalation.
Oh, definitely. And this is extremely serious. My understanding is it hit 30 different elements in the Minnesota water supply chain. And this is the Iranians trying to go after the American people where we live. And so I think we have to be very mindful, yes, of the hackers, as you say, but bear in mind, Jackie, during the Biden administration, when we had wide open borders, we don't know how many Iranians with affiliations to the IRGC came into our country. When we wrote about an Iran strategy at Heritage before Operation Midnight Hammer last year, my co-author Rob Greenway and I both said our biggest concern is domestic, that what has crept into our country unwatched, what kind of cells might be here. We have to be on super heightened alert. I'm very glad, we have Kash Patel and the FBI. I know very attentive to this, but at this, everyone, and it's everywhere from Minnesota to Texas, needs to be on high alert because we don't know what's here.
Yeah, the Iranians, at the same time, are trying to appear stronger than they are. CENTCOM had to fact-check some claims that they made yesterday about shooting down American fighter jets. They also appeared to be suggesting they were behind that strike, the drone strike on the LNG tanker in Egypt, but that has not been verified either. But there does, at the same time, appear to be a serious concern on the part of the Saudis that there could be a second front that opens in this war if the Houthis are not contained in the Red Sea. And they had this coalition meet yesterday, 43 countries trying to put together a maritime defense pact. 14 of them signed on to try to protect that other shipping lane from becoming a bigger issue. Obviously, Iran supports the Houthis. How big of a deal would that be, a second front in the Red Sea?
Well, it would definitely be a problem because right now Saudi's moving about 5 million barrels of oil a day, about a quarter of what normally comes out of the Persian Gulf, east-west through their Petroline pipeline across the peninsula, and then out from their port on the Red Sea out through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait, which is what the Houthi are trying to menace. So that's a problem for them if that ends. That's not insurmountable. There's something called the Sumed pipeline around the Suez. You can use that. They could historically go do something quite incredible and use the Trans-Israel pipeline going from the Red Sea up to the Mediterranean across Israel. So those workarounds are there. But better yet would be to end this Houthi menace once and for all. And I think, yes, we would have liked to see more countries sign on to the Maritime Accord, but 14 is a good start. And, this is the region starting to take its own security into its own hands. That, on the long run, is really good for the United States.
And final question, the U.S. is looking into China's reported plans to arm the Iranians with 400 rocket launchers. The president said he'd be quite disappointed if Xi went back on his promise not to arm the Iranians. And the Treasury Secretary told Fox Business that basically they were in communication and were sure that the Chinese would stop that down if the U.S. asked for that to happen. But the prospect of China getting, more readily involved in this, how big of a deal is that? And do you agree with the analysis of some that the president should leverage those weapons shipments to Taiwan to put China back on its heels on this?
Well, I mean, I'm all for sending weapons shipments to Taiwan, especially if things they've already paid for. I think that's just good business for our companies. But in terms of China, Jackie, it's interesting. They really haven't done that much. The stuff they've given the Iranians is stuff they already have. Intelligence, satellite imagery. I don't like it. I think they should knock it off. But 400 man pads aren't going to save Iran at this point. It's not like they're steaming battleships toward the region or giving them significant financial relief. So I think China is probably going to take a back seat on this one. They need that energy to start coming out of the Gulf. The escalation doesn't do them any good. So I think we'll tamp that down. But last point is that the Russia sanctions that the Senate's poised to pass next week, that has 100% sanctions, or tariffs rather, in the president's power on anyone who buys Russian oil. That's a big stick for him to use. And he can use that to leverage support for Russia. He can also use it to leverage support for Iran.
And China is at the top of the list on who would pay the biggest price for that. All right, Victoria Coates, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Really appreciate it.
Thank you.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.